You know, hitting 70 isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of a whole new chapter. But here's the thing. Not everything that made sense when you were younger fits the life you have now. Today, I'm sharing 12 things that simply don't make sense for women like us after 70. Stick around. The last one might just change the way you see yourself entirely. Let me tell you something. Beauty is not a number on a scale, a shade of lipstick, or the smoothness of your skin. For years, we were sold the idea that beauty equals youth. Endless creams, surgeries, dyes. Have you noticed how the beauty industry always tells us we need to fix ourselves? But here's the truth. At 70, beauty isn't about looking younger. It's about looking alive. Do you know what radiance looks like now? It's the way your eyes light up when you see your grandchildren, or the joy in your smile when you laugh at a joke you've heard 100 times. Those laugh lines? They're a map of a life well lived. And let's not forget the practicality. Why should we spend hundreds of dollars on treatments that make us look less old, instead of investing that money into hobbies or experiences that make us feel genuinely happy? From this point forward, beauty isn't something you chase, it's something you carry inside you. So ditch the chase. You've earned the freedom to show up as yourself, unapologetically. Here's something I've noticed. As the years go by, the more stuff you have, the more stress you carry. Every drawer, every closet crammed with unused items. It's not just physical clutter, it's mental too. Think about it. Why do we hold on to things we no longer need? For years, I kept old clothes I thought I'd fit into again, gifts I never used because I felt guilty giving them away, and even piles of outdated magazines. And you know what all that clutter was doing? It was weighing me down. Now's the time to flip the script. Instead of seeing decluttering as getting rid of things, see it as making space. Space for movement in your home, space for meaningful moments, and space for peace in your mind. Start with one room, or even just one drawer. Go through your items and ask yourself, does this still bring me joy or serve a purpose? If the answer is no, thank it for its time and let it go. You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel when your surroundings reflect simplicity and peace. How many times have we jumped into a disagreement that had nothing to do with us? Maybe it was to protect someone, stand up for our kids, or keep the peace in the family. While that might have made sense when we were younger and playing peacemaker, after 70, it's time to let some battles go. Picture this. There's a disagreement between your grown children over something trivial, like who should host the next holiday gathering. Your instinct might be to step in and mediate, but at what cost? Often, these small battles drain your emotional energy and put you in the crossfire. I learned this the hard way. Trying to help only ended up with both sides resenting me. The same goes for long-standing feuds with friends or neighbors. How much of your precious energy have you wasted holding grudges or fighting battles that, in the big picture, don't matter? Instead of trying to resolve every conflict, consider this. Not every problem is yours to solve, and sometimes the most powerful move is to step back and let others figure things out for themselves. You've earned the right to focus on your happiness and well-being. There's something I've noticed about women like us. We're natural caretakers. We feel a sense of duty to show up, to make others feel special, and to keep connections alive. But after 70, we have to ask ourselves, at what cost? When I turned 70, my calendar was busier than ever. Grandchildren's birthday parties, community events, holiday gatherings, and even hosting friends for afternoon teas. I thought being busy was a sign of being vibrant and involved, but instead, I was often drained and overwhelmed. There were weeks where I barely had time to catch my breath between commitments. What I didn't realize was that constantly saying yes to everyone meant saying no to myself. Over time, I started to resent some of the very things I had agreed to. The turning point came when I missed a quiet Sunday morning, a time I used to spend journaling, sipping tea, and reflecting, because I had committed to a fundraising event I didn't even enjoy. That's when it clicked. My time is no longer infinite, and not every commitment deserves a spot on my schedule. These days, I ask myself 2 questions before committing. Will this truly make me happy? And do I have the energy for it? If the answer is no, I politely decline. And you know what? Most people understand. They've been there too. Now, my calendar reflects joy, not obligation, and I find myself savoring life instead of rushing through it. Perfection. Oh, how it's chased us throughout our lives. From our younger days when we were taught to have spotless homes and perfect meals, to the years spent worrying about how we looked, what others thought, and whether we were enough. But let's get honest for a moment. Who does perfection really serve? I remember one specific Thanksgiving years ago. I was hosting, and everything had to be just so. I spent days cleaning every corner of the house, ironing tablecloths, and trying out an elaborate new recipe I saw in a magazine. By the time the big day arrived, I was too exhausted to enjoy it. And for what? Not one person noticed the tiny centerpiece I spent hours crafting, or the fact that the dessert plates matched the napkins. But something did stand out: my absence. I was so busy perfecting everything that I missed the laughter at the table, the joy in my grandchildren's faces, and the stories being shared. That day taught me a hard lesson. Perfection comes at a cost, and it's rarely worth paying. Now I embrace imperfection wholeheartedly. If my cake sags a little in the middle, it still tastes the same. If my living room has a bit of dust when guests arrive, it doesn't stop us from enjoying good conversation. What people value most isn't your perfect hosting or spotless appearance. It's your presence, your warmth, and your authenticity. So let's let go of perfection, shall we? We've earned the right to be unapologetically real. I'll be the first to admit it. Taking care of our health can feel like a full-time job. The doctor appointments, the dietary changes, the exercise routines, it can all seem overwhelming. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: nothing is more inconvenient than losing your health. I had a wake-up call a few years back. It started with small things: a stiff shoulder here, a bit of knee pain there. I thought, oh, it's just aging. It's normal. But those small issues became big problems when I ignored them. One day I found myself unable to go up the stairs without wincing. A visit to the doctor revealed that early intervention could have spared me years of discomfort. It's not just about injuries or chronic pain either. It's about small, everyday habits that add up. For years I used to reach for pre-packaged meals because I didn't feel like cooking. They were quick, easy, and convenient. But when I started feeling sluggish and noticed my energy dipping, I took a closer look at my diet. Turns out all that convenience was costing me more than time. It was costing me vitality. Now I take my health seriously. I prep simple, nutritious meals on Sundays so I'm not tempted by quick fixes during the week. I make it a point to stretch every morning, even if it's just for 10 minutes. And yes, I keep up with doctor visits even for the little things. These small, consistent changes have given me more energy and mobility than I had at 60. Let me tell you, there is nothing more empowering than feeling in control of your own body, even as the years add up. I wish someone had told me earlier in life, not every relationship is meant to last forever. For decades, we're conditioned to believe we should endure toxic friendships, unbalanced family dynamics, or one-sided partnerships simply because we've invested time or because it's the right thing to do. But after 70, maintaining toxic relationships makes no sense. I had a friend. Let's call her Linda. We'd known each other for over 30 years, but Linda had a knack for negativity. Whenever we'd meet, she'd spend hours complaining about her life, belittling others, or finding fault with everything around her. I'd walk away from our chats feeling drained. Still, I kept the friendship alive because I felt guilty about letting it go. One day, I realized something. Time is no longer a resource I can take for granted. Every moment matters. Why was I spending mine with someone who made me feel less than happy or fulfilled? I made the difficult decision to step away from that friendship. Was it hard? Yes. Did I feel relief afterward? Absolutely. Now I invest my energy into people who uplift me, those who bring joy, share kindness, and leave me feeling refreshed instead of depleted. Life is far too precious to waste on negativity. Remember this, walking away isn't selfish, it's self-care. There's a myth floating around that after 70, our lives are set in stone, that there's no room for new interests or adventures. But let me tell you something. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this stage of life is the perfect time to try things we never had the chance to before. When I was raising my kids and working, my life revolved around schedules and responsibilities. There wasn't much time left for hobbies, but after 70, I decided to shake things up. I signed up for a painting class, not because I thought I'd be good at it, but because it sounded fun. And you know what? I wasn't great at first, but it didn't matter. For the first time in years, I felt like a beginner again, and there was something so freeing about that. Since then, I've taken up gardening, started journaling daily, and even joined a local choir. Every new interest brings with it a sense of excitement and purpose. You're never too old to learn something new or rediscover something you once loved. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You deserve to fill your days with things that ignite your curiosity and spark joy in your soul. I'll admit it, I used to be intimidated by technology, phones, tablets, smart TVs. They all felt overwhelming. I'd tell myself, oh, it's not for me, or I don't need to know how to use all that. But here's the thing, avoiding technology in today's world doesn't make sense, especially after 70. My granddaughter was the one who changed my perspective. She showed me how to use a tablet, and suddenly, a whole new world opened up to me. I learned how to video call my family, explore recipes online, and even join online classes. I discovered communities of people my age sharing stories, advice, and experiences. And let me tell you, watching videos on gardening tips and even learning some basic Spanish has been a blast. Technology isn't something to fear. It's a tool to enhance our lives. It keeps us connected, informed, and engaged with the world around us. So, if you're hesitant about learning, remember this. You don't have to master everything at once. Start small. Ask a tech-savvy friend or family member for help. The world is moving forward, and staying connected to it can bring incredible joy and opportunity, no matter your age. There comes a point in life when you realize that no matter what you do, someone will have an opinion about it. And guess what? That's okay. But spending your precious time and energy worrying about those opinions? That makes no sense after 70. When I was younger, I'd fret over everything. What to wear to the neighbor's barbecue, whether my gift for a friend was good enough, or if my choices for my own life were being judged by others. As women, we're conditioned to seek approval from everyone, our families, our communities, even strangers. But let me tell you something that's freeing. None of it really matters in the grand scheme of things. I remember once being worried about wearing a bright floral dress to a formal event because it was too much. My daughter said, "Mom, who cares? If it makes you happy, wear it." And you know what? I did. I got so many compliments that day, but even better, I felt good in my own skin. So here's my advice. Live your life for you. Dance, even if people are watching. Speak your truth, even if it's unpopular. Wear what makes you feel fabulous, no matter what anyone thinks. By 70, you've earned the right to prioritize your happiness over someone else's opinion. Money is a tricky subject at any age, but after 70, avoiding financial planning is one of the worst mistakes we can make. Whether you have a lot or a little, knowing where your money is going and having a plan makes life so much easier and so much less stressful. I've seen friends run into trouble because they avoided looking at their finances, thinking everything would work out. But the truth is, life is unpredictable. Medical expenses, housing needs, or even helping out a family member can strain a budget if you're not prepared. I've also seen others live so frugally out of fear that they never enjoyed the money they'd worked hard to save. For me, the best thing I did was sit down with a financial advisor. We talked about everything: my expenses, my savings, and even what I wanted to leave behind for my family. It wasn't as intimidating as I thought it would be, and now I have peace of mind knowing I can enjoy life without worrying about running out of money. Whether it's budgeting, planning for long-term care, or just treating yourself occasionally, having a clear picture of your financial health is empowering, and it's never too late to get started. Here's the truth about aging. It's not something to fear, it's something to embrace. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every year that passes is proof that you've lived, loved, and experienced life. Yet so many women let the fear of aging hold them back. I know this fear all too well. For years, I worried about looking older. I tried creams, hid my age, and avoided conversations about how many candles were on my birthday cake. But then, one day, I looked in the mirror and thought, what am I so afraid of? I realized that every line on my face tells a story of laughter, tears, lessons learned, and love shared. Now, instead of focusing on what aging takes away, I celebrate what it brings: wisdom, perspective, and a deeper appreciation for the little things. I don't worry about being the oldest one in the room. I focus on being the most present, the one soaking up every moment. Aging isn't about losing who you were. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. So let's stop letting fear dictate how we live, and instead, embrace this chapter with open arms, curiosity, and a bold sense of adventure. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you found these 12 tips helpful, or if any of them hit home, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback means the world to me. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another conversation like this. And one more thing. I'd love for you to join my Savvy Senior newsletter, where I share even more tips, stories, and advice tailored just for women like us. You'll find the link down in the description. Click it, sign up, and let's stay connected. Take care, and remember, life after 70 is a time to thrive, not just survive. Until next time, goodbye for now.